Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. It's Fat Albert. I'm gonna sing a song for you. Man. So, hey, check me out. Check me out. I'm here. It is Thursday, January 9th, 9 a.m. as I look over to my other screen, and I am here on the TikTok, doing the TikTok live. You guys, I have so much fun stuff to share with you today. Yeah, but for now, I am proud of myself for showing up. I'm proud of you for showing up too. So much of how you get stuff done, how you make a life you want to have. Good morning, Tiffany. Nice to see you. And Julie and Kat Roby. Nice to see you. I bet you have something planned for the day, don't you? So much of getting stuff done and making your life more like you want it to be and less like you don't want it to be is freaking showing up. Even when you drag yourself there, okay? Even when you drag yourself there reluctantly, going and showing up, I can speak from authority on that one. Now, Lainey Palm FLL, nice to see you. Good morning, and thank you for being here. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I love it. Erin's filling her mug. I've got my mug right here. Oh, goodness. So spreading sunshine, you've got never-ending snow. Good week for decluttering. I think this time of year, because I live in the colder climates, I currently live in eastern Pennsylvania. It is freaking cold out, people. I'm not going to deny it. It was windy. I could hear the whoosh, the wind whistling through the windows. We gotta do something about that. But I want to congratulate you for showing up, knowing that I was going to do a TikTok live, or maybe you're just scrolling by and you're like, what's this lady doing? I am going to pat myself on the back. This morning, 7 a.m., I went to a strength training class. Man, was I dreading. It was cold. It was dark. I haven't gone for a while, so I'm afraid of pain. That's one of my big fears, being afraid of pain. You, maybe you, me, we get that in common. But I went. I took the baby steps. I got up. I set my alarm. I got up. I got into my clothes. I drove down. Usually I would walk, but it's so freaking cold that I said, okay, I'm going to drive down, making it easier on myself. And I did it. Now, the whole class barely took an hour. And now I have done something good for my body and my brain, because I've given myself a good story of me doing something to improve something in my life, which is my muscles and strength and body. So it's not even like 9:05 in the morning and I'm already like, I'm kicking some ass today. Okay? Now, I love it. Kat Roby always shows up, and I'm always going to call her out on this because it's such a good idea. I will slow down the process. She shows up because she knows when I'm going to do a TikTok live because she's on my mailing list. And she has something planned to work on while I'm keeping her company. ADHD people, you may be unfamiliar with the term, or maybe you are, but body doubling, buddy system, sometimes having somebody to hang around with, even if it's just the magical connection of connecting through the internet, can help you focus your time and your energy and your actions to get something done that you want to get done. When you articulate what you want to work on and what you want to accomplish to yourself, that helps. Writing it down helps. Writing it down, even if it's typing on the comments on a TikTok live, helps, because then you're also creating a connection. You're sharing it. You're not just making a promise to yourself, but you're sharing your promise to yourself with somebody else, and that creates a connection. I am cheering you on. So Kat Roby is always chiming in, hey yo, and she says SBB. She's making it fun. She calls it her scheduled Beth Blinders. What are you going to call it? You can call it whatever. You can call it Fred for all I care. Clearing a pile of receipts. That is an action. Notice, verb, clearing, and a quick clear of the mail. Again, the verb, clear. Now notice, clearing could be shoving it all aside and be like, look, I have a clean space. But that's not what we do here. Sometimes we do, because we want the clear space, but the better way to do this is to go through the things. So instead of pushing things aside, notice the levels in which you can take this. Instead of pushing things to the side, you're taking a little bit more time, but you're dealing with them, and then you don't have to deal with them in the future. So yay, Kat Roby. Let's take inspiration from what Kat's doing. Now, there's a bunch of us here right now, so in case you've never met me, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach here in the year of 20. Oh my gosh, I was thinking of 24, 20. This is really funny. I recorded a TikTok video because I'm going through photos. You guys, memory lane, walking down it. And I was talking about in my video, you'll see it when I post it, that I was talking about the year 2024 because it's so close to it. But it's 2025 right now. And I'm a decluttering life coach, and I'm here to help you with what you're stuck with. And if it's clutter, it's probably you have more stuff than you need and more stuff than you want. Here's what you want. You've got too much. Here's what you need. You've got too much. I'm here to help you kind of reduce that number of things you don't want so all you have is what you do want. I'm going through this with my photos right here. It's wicked fun. So anyhow, I am here to help you with this. There we go. Now this is so fun. Already ruling the day. Yes, I am. I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is also doing something we do here too, and I did it myself. There's nothing wrong with congratulating yourself, patting yourself on the back, giving yourself a round of applause for the good stuff you've done. Okay? Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, did a lot of decluttering on Tuesday. Errands all day were drop-offs. Yeah. Decluttering is deciding what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, and then taking the action to do it. And then part of that is then what the stuff you don't want to keep, get it out of your house, get it out of your life the soonest and easiest way possible. So good on you. Good on you. I love it. So here's something fun. Robin is saying plans to go through paperwork. Great. Paperwork, you guys. I seriously want to help you with that because I used to be a paperwork, fearful of paperwork. Now, not so much. Now, here's a really fun thing. We are learning from Kat. If you were here for my TikTok lives earlier this week, or maybe you're on the mailing list and so you've watched the recordings of them, you know that Kat is bringing us along on her journey. She was saying she was going to go through some paperwork and some envelopes and some mail, and she was kind of, dragging her feet, putting the foot on the brake as opposed to the gas. And yet when she opened up her mail, you guys, she literally found, we talked about this yesterday on the TikTok Live, she found a number of checks that she forgot were being sent to her. She found almost $3,000 going through her own mail. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to find something, but notice how she was dreading going through those because she was afraid of finding something she didn't want, but she forgot there's a distinct possibility that there could be good news. There could be something you do want, and you're stopping yourself from the good stuff if you're afraid of the bad stuff. So $3,000, hey, pretty cool. The other funny thing is that Kat says, receipts piles were shuffled. They have been staring at me since September, and then you've been staring back at them since September, and now they're gone in 5 minutes. Now, this is why I heartily encourage you. The sooner you deal with your clutter, the sooner it's just done. Notice how Kat has been looking at that. I've been looking at you, and you've been looking at me. I know there's a song right there, right? She's been looking at that pile of receipts. That receipts pile's been looking back at her. So for September, October, November, December, for 4 months, there's been this kind of tension. I'm staring you down. I'm not dealing with you yet. Now she's done, and it took all of 5 minutes. Do not be afraid to get started. The sooner you get started, the sooner it's done. And especially if it's something you're not looking forward to, let's get that over with so you can get that in the past behind you, okay? Now, I love this. Because Anna is saying, thank you, I'm working on my office right now. Kaya says, okay, I'm up. Good morning, Lady V. Love when I get the notification that you're on. Yeah, if you want to know when I'm on, I have, and I'm going to be really clear about this because there's the looming fear of TikTok not being here anymore. My TikTok lives are scheduled from the rest of this week and next week. The following week, I'm on vacation. I am traveling. I will not be here doing TikTok lives. And who the frick knows? TikTok may not even be here for me to do that. So I don't know, frankly, when I return from my travels, because I have 2 quick trips planned, if I'm going to be able to tune into to TikTok and see you guys. So I say this as a knowing that this may be in the future. What can we do now about it? So if you want to stay connected with me, just get on my mailing list. Seriously, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for the mailing list. I do not spam you. I so do not spam you. I share a wicked lot of good stuff, okay? But I share that with you because I love showing up on TikTok Live for you. But you know what? If TikTok goes away, I want to show up somewhere else where we can hang out and do this stuff. Okay? I love it. Kate is going through papers while you talk. And I love it. Robin says, and thank you for reminding me to tell people about the parties. My God, if you're having a party and you don't invite people and you don't tell them about it, they're not going to show up. So Robin says, since our first party, I have paperwork down to a system. Oh, I like that because you know how much I like that word down? Calming down, chunking down, quieting down. What was the one? Settling down. And I have it down to a system that I put in place that day. You know? Yeah. Thank you, Hydro Dragon, for following me on YouTube. Yes, YouTube will probably be where I end up because I'm pissed at Meta for not having fact checkers. But notice, let me back up. I pop around all over the place, but hopefully you can follow what I'm saying. Decluttering, there is a system you can use. Now, don't be afraid of a system. A system is just a bunch of steps you repeat all over the time. You know, you do this already. You have certain steps you go through to try to get the result you want done. Like Clara, for example. Clara is gathering the laundry to start some washing, right? So Clara currently has a system to get her laundry done. Now, what I like to do, and I've always done this, or just it's something that I enjoy doing, is taking a look at what I'm doing, but also how I'm doing it, and saying, basically, how can I do this easier? How can I get to where I want to go quicker and easier? How can I get that result that I want more effortlessly, with less effort? Okay? And so I show up to give you those skills, that desire of mine, and help you think of it the same way. Okay? So if you are wanting to be decluttered, and notice it, those of you, again, I show up and I talk a lot about stuff with a road trip metaphor. So I have this thing that I made out of like construction paper behind me. Here we are today at the beginning of a road trip. Off screen, you don't see that also yesterday's road trip was there. So our life is a big dotted line. But today, we are always here at today. And we are ideally driving towards a life we want. Now, hopefully you're there already and all you're doing is, kind of maintaining and staying there. But if you are not, so let's say you're here and you say, I want to be decluttered, I help you get there. Okay? I help there. Yeah? And thank you, everybody, for filling in the blanks while I'm trying to maintain my focus on things. So yeah, if you are not where you want to be yet, no big deal. No big deal. You are doing the best you can with the skills you have. But the skills you have may be lacking. You may be missing a couple of steps. I am here to help you fill in those blanks. I am here to get you also to not be judgmental, but to be curious. To not be mean to yourself, to be nice to yourself. Instead of being all worked up, I want to help you calm the F down. Okay? So when you judge yourself, you're shutting yourself off from changing things you do. And maybe really all you need to do is a couple of tweaks to your process. And then, as Robin said, she's got her paperwork down to a system. Okay? How does that feel? I have my paperwork down to a system. Lucille is asking, speaking of paperwork, do you have a list of paperwork to keep? No. No, because your list is different than my list. I will say this, though, in general, I want you, Lucille, to get curious about, and this is where we do some time traveling. I've been doing some time traveling this morning because I've been going through photos from 1981, 2, 3, and 4. I will share with you that I've got a few piles now of small piles of photos. This photo album that I have carried around with me since 1984, this is going into the Goodwill pile. It has no photos left in it, and I'm going to save a fraction of the photos that took that up. So I've been time traveling today, okay? And I want to share with you the time travel, okay? There's the past, there's the present right here, and then there's the future. So in the past, you told yourself, I need to keep this paperwork. Today, in the present, I offer you the opportunity to say to yourself, do I really need to keep that category of paperwork? Now, I will probably do a TikTok video about this, but now is the perfect time, because it's the transition of a calendar year to another calendar year, to look at the paperwork that you have saved, or you saved from just 2024. Categorize that paperwork. Play matchy-matchy. Here's my Pico bills. Here's my Citibank card thing. Here's stuff from my doctor. Here's something from my, car insurance. Here's a receipt from when we got oil delivered. Here's the receipt from the guy who mowed my lawn once. Notice the stuff that you decided at that time to keep, and please allow yourself the fresh eyes to say, do I really need to keep this? Why? What was the reason behind why I kept this? And is that still making sense to me right now? Okay, so no, I don't have a list. I don't like creating lists for other people because your list is different from my list. What I prefer to do is empower you with the skills of independent thinking to, instead of blindly following somebody else's checklist, to ask yourself, why did I keep this? And do I still need to keep this in the future? Now, some paperwork may be beneficial for you to keep. Stuff that proves something you need to prove to somebody. The IRS or an insurance company or somebody who wants to buy your house. But your mileage will vary from mine. I want to empower you to think for yourself. I hope that helps. Now, this is fun. Speaking of helping, Sandra Maria is saying the Largo, Florida Veterans Association will pick up donations for free. Declutter and help others. Yep. I love it. Laura is in the basement going through a box and finding little treasures I had forgotten about. Me too. I am finding little treasures in my photo album. That's me circa 1980 something. They didn't call it a mullet back then, people, but check this out. That's me with my police, all my cool little rock and roll photos, and my dog. Love it. And then Kat Roby is already checking in with a check mark. Notice, feeling good. Bonus, cleared a chair and the coffee table from yesterday's clutter and onto the mail. Now, I love this. Erin says excited to work a half a day and then clean and declutter this afternoon. I treated myself to a cleaning service. I love that. Sometimes spending money on things gets you the results you want quicker than if you tried to do it on the cheap. I know this because I've done both. I am famous for cheaping out on myself, and I am getting more comfortable with paying for things that help me to get the results I want. So paying for a cleaning service can also help you do the things that you need to do. Anybody ever heard of I get a clean for the cleaners? I want to get more specific. That's an easy way to say it. You typically don't need to clean for the cleaners because the cleaners know how to clean. The cleaners, however, cannot declutter for you because they don't know what your stuff is and where it goes and if you still want it. So decluttering before the cleaners come allows you to have more surfaces that they can clean so you get a better bang for your buck. And then once you see it so nice and clean, sometimes those clean surfaces clear. You can clear it, they will clean it. Maybe I got to clear for the surface. Maybe you got to clear for the cleaners. You clear the surface, they clean it. It's a nice, you guys have a nice relationship there. When you see how nice and clear and clean it is, how does that feel? If you like the feeling of looking at a surface that is clear and clean, that's what decluttering is. That's why I show up, to help you, not give you that feeling, but help you learn that you have the power to generate that good feeling in you. Okay? So Erin, good stuff. I cannot wait. That is so cool. I am so glad you are investing your money in your quality of life. Okay? Love it. And it is an investment. Okay? There we go. Lori Hanna, I'm there with you every step of the way. Lori Hanna is working at my parents' house today, and I hope to have an estate sale in 2 months. All right, let's go there. Notice what Lori is doing. She's declaring it to us. We all now are sending good vibes to Lori. You can do this. She has also articulated where she is and what she wants, and she has a due date. She wants to get there by then, by 2 months. So let's say we're like already into January, you get February, maybe like by the end of March. So April 1st, let's say. Awesome. When you know that you want to be done by a certain time, just like a road trip, if I'm saying I want to drive from Pennsylvania to Palm Springs and I want to get there by, February 14th, I can do the math to say how many hours do I need to drive per day if I start here. Now, the sooner I start, the fewer hours I will need to drive per day. If I wait and delay until, February 10th, I'm going to have to drive 10 hours a day. I'm going to have to do a wicked lot, and it's going to be exhausting. But if I start now and I start small, I can feel that good momentum of getting there, and I can enjoy the ride. And also, taking a tip from my strength training class today, I can do it where I don't need to hurt myself as I'm doing it. I can start low and slow, which is what we're doing this year, decluttering, and congratulate myself on what I did and do it and stop before it starts to really hurt. Okay? There we go. Erin, notice what's working for you, and I know this, and it's so funny. A few minutes ago, you can tell this is live because this is just my brain bopping along. I was going to tell people about the decluttering parties. So I'm going to answer Erin because I want this an important thing that she's sharing that I want you guys to share too. Notice we're all here exchanging info. So Erin and I have worked together because I do one-on-one coaching. And Erin has also showed up for these decluttering parties that I started in December and I'm continuing on in January. We're actively doing them. February, I'm penciling them in on the calendar. People on the mailing list. You're going to be the first ones to know because the only people who get invited to my parties are the people on my mailing list. I don't just open the door to anybody on the street. You need to be vetted, and all that means is you got to give me your email address so I can send you the invitation. Now, one of the things that Erin has learned about her is that it is more difficult for her to declutter and clean when she feels alone. So this is one of the wonderful things about these decluttering parties is that she's not alone, that we do it together. So what's a decluttering party, you may ask? Is on a certain day and at a certain time. Notice the specificity and the certainty. On a certain day of the week. So on this Saturday, January 11th, and this Sunday, January 12th. So a certain day of the week, then we get more specific, at a certain time of day. At noontime on Saturday. And then we get even more specific. We stab the noon and it goes for a certain amount of time. From noon Eastern until 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, we show up on Zoom. And what we do is we declutter together. But because it's on Zoom, you're decluttering your home, I'm decluttering my home, and you get that camaraderie of feeling like you're not alone. That is helping Erin, and it helps a lot of people. It also might help because you're doing what we do here is exchanging tips and tricks and learning aha moments so you can share it with people and embed those aha moments into you. I also am there kind of to help you if you get stuck. So it's a little bit like the closest thing I'll be doing is doing like a group coaching type thing. So if you're interested in attending one of these parties, this Saturday, noon Eastern for 90 minutes, and this Sunday, I'm doing a bonus free half hour beforehand of kind of defining your destination because it's the beginning of the year. There is a ticket price. It's very modest. It's like $20, and half of that ticket price is being donated on a monthly basis to the local homeless women's shelter in my town. Because those of us who have too much stuff, we can help, as we help ourselves get to the just right feeling, we can also help the people that don't even have a home to be decluttered. Okay? So if that's of interest to you, I have a great time. The people who've done it have had a great time. Get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, put in your email address, promise you're not a robot, and it may help you declutter. Okay? Also, a couple of things real quick because people have asked. You do not need to interact on Zoom at all. You don't need to have your camera on. You don't need to have your microphone on. You don't need to be in the chat. Many people do not. But so you get to show up at the level of connection that feels comfortable to your nervous system. Okay? Now, I'm going to back up here, see what's going on here. Yes, 6 hands are better than 2. So getting help. Erin's getting help. I want you to get help. You do not need to do this alone. If you don't feel good about doing it alone, get some help. Right now, I'm helping Kat Roby by hanging out and chattering with you guys in the background as she does her stuff. I know myself, though. I am much more independently wired. I'm sure I could go to therapy and figure out why, but I love it. So I truly enjoy going through some of my clutter by myself. I like it to be quiet. I like to have the door shut. I like to be going through and being like, oh, here's a picture of, Halloween, 1983. Oh, remember those times? Oh, look, there's my Duran Duran t-shirt. I enjoy doing it in the quiet by myself. Other people really want noise in the background and people hanging out. Finding out what works for you helps you do it, okay? And I love this. Star Queen says, the luxury of a cleaning service frees up my time for more creative endeavors. Yes, and I want to share this concept with you. I was talking about it with one of my one-on-one clients who's also an entrepreneur herself. Working smarter and not harder. What are the things that only you can do and want to do on the planet? And what are the other things that you could do, or you could kind of delegate to somebody else? Now I'm laughing because I just saw pictures of my younger sisters, and they would tell you in a heartbeat, because I'm the oldest, that I have delegated since the day I was born. It's a gift, people. But realizing what you want to do and what somebody else can do. Erin is going to do only what she can do. She's going to make a decision. She's going to decide if she wants to keep an item or not. And then she's going to decide if she wants to keep it, where does it live? What home is it? Where does it live? And she's going to put that away. She cannot outsource that to somebody else. However, she can totally outsource vacuuming, dusting, laundry, any of that stuff that's pretty mundane. Okay? So I say to you, with the finite amount of time you have on the planet, what are some things that you want to do with your time that you're currently not doing because of clutter and because of cleaning? And let's make it easier, because I want to live in a world where people are doing the things they want to do that only they can do. If I were behind the desk like I was for years, or working in a store as I was for decades, I could not be here on TikTok Live helping you with your stuff. So I made decisions that I had the flexibility to do this. So I want to empower you. Here, empower. Here, have some power. Would you like it? I have a little tray. To empower you to do some things differently this year so you have more time to do what you want and less time spent doing stuff you don't want to do. Okay? Now I'm going to step down off my Brillo box and say, hey, I love this. LBD Jesus Lover is saying, going through old jewelry from years and years and donating. Love it. Now, I love this too. Be proud of yourself every time you release something that you have kept for years or for moments. Laura says, I'm proud of myself. A picture that a student drew for me that passed away, the student passed away, I am ready to release it. Just because you release the item does not mean you release the person. I have pictures in here. This is really, I'm a lucky person. I have pictures from the 1980s that that I am still friends with, not all, but a number of the people in those photos. If I throw away the photos, it doesn't mean that I throw away the friends. Okay? So if you are afraid of releasing something, just remember, the picture or the memory of the person, you can capture it in other ways. Okay? Yes, I won't ever forget my student. He is always in my heart. Yeah, this is where we keep a lot of the good stuff. This is where we keep the good stuff. Okay? Now I love this. Bernie and Tula Rescue Turt says, I have ADHD and love body doubling. Yes, the decluttering party's perfect body doubling. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Calm Carolyn. I like that aspect too. I've been struggling a bit again. I have a few projects I'm nervous about. Get curious what you're nervous about. I grew up a nervous Nelly. Totally. I failed my first couple of, I guess it was only one, my driver's test. The guy said, I've never seen anybody more nervous behind the wheel. And he was right. But then you know what I did? I got some help. I got some training, and then I practiced. I got my license, and I freaking love to drive. Okay? Now, this is very cool. So, Erin, I will read you out your unsolicited testimonial. Erin says, yes, past client here. If anyone here is on the fence about coaching, sign up for a consultation. Best money I've spent on myself. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, if you want to sign up for a consultation that might lead to coaching, destinationdeclutter.com is my website. There's a calendar there, and I have consultation slots available this week and next. But then, as I said, I'm going to be traveling. So if you are interested in that, that's something you can do too. Okay, now this is interesting. Laura is saying, I'm not doing a good job with balance. Well, as Depeche Mode would say, get the balance right. I keep cleaning and decluttering and never get around to the art things. Okay. This is where your calendar, I was thinking about this morning, because I'm always thinking. Your calendar is one of the most powerful tools you have in your decluttering toolkit. In your life coaching, like I'm a decluttering life coach. In your life toolkit, your calendar and a pen and a paper. So I say this to you. I say this to you, Laura. You are choosing to spend time cleaning, and you are choosing to spend time decluttering. But notice how much time you are allocating to this. This is why one of the things I do is, and this is a mess because this was yesterday, this was my day yesterday. But what I do is I time block, I roadmap what I do, and I put boundaries on the amount of time I do certain things. I do that so that I have time to do the things I want to do. So this is also where another tool in your toolkit might be a timer. Setting your timer to say, I'm going to clean for 20 minutes, I'm going to declutter for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to stop, hammer time. I'm going to stop that stuff, and I'm going to start spending my time doing the art things. Stopping and starting. Boundaries, calendars, timers. These are really good things to have in your toolkit. Okay, I'm like reaching in the trunk of my car to get the toolkit. Because those are the things that are going to allow you to not only drive towards a life, but live that life on the way to it. Okay? Yeah. And but checker 1, 2, 3, as sad as the fires are in California, life is the most important. Yeah. You guys, those California fires, devastating. Devastating. So ask yourself, If I had to leave my house within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, could I easily grab the things that are the most important? If the answer is no, the things aren't worth it, get out with your life. But what are the things that you would truly need to and be able to grab really quickly? I saw a thing on TikTok where there were some firefighters who were pulling out, um, photo albums, people. How nice of them to do that. How nice of them to do that. But you know what I endeavor to do? Is have this stuff in literally 1 or 2 totes, that if we ever had to get out of here for whatever reason, I could easily put those 2 totes of things in my home, in my car, get the hell out of Dodge, and feel good about the fact that I was not attached to a lot of stuff. I will take pictures of my home to remember what it looks like, but not be so attached to things. Okay? Yeah, okay, I love this. I'm going to back up and read. I'm catching up on things here. So Laura is saying, I think my lack of a balance is my manifestation or all or nothing symptoms of ADHD. Hell to the yeah. Yeah. Notice on a road trip, all or nothing. I'm going to drive for 8 hours straight. I got to get there. I cannot stop. I am here to share with you that it is so much more healthy and organic and sustainable to stop the all or nothing and to start practicing shifting gears. Now, I love this because it's also a car metaphor. You don't always go straight. You have to stop at stop signs. You need to stop at an intersection. You stop at a traffic signal. You stop at the end of the day, and then you get started again. So notice where stopping and starting is imperative in your life. Now, I can pretty much say that at least my kind of take on it is ADHD people, sometimes it can take you so long to get in gear that you have fear of, if I stop, I can't start again. It's like when I was learning how to drive a stick shift car, I was afraid to stop on an incline for fear that I would roll back and I couldn't get started. Practice. Practice stopping, practice starting. Practice stopping, practice starting. This is why we chunk things down, okay? Yeah. Now, Clara is saying, I feel like I avoid decluttering because of the other life stuff. Okay, fair enough. But notice, you are allocating, we have a finite amount of hours during the day, all of us. You are allocating a certain amount of your time to other life stuff and not to decluttering. Now, I love, oh, hey, ID Princess. Sorry, I'm totally getting distracted. Now I've totally distracted myself. Okay, I apologize. ID Princess, nice to see you. I just want to say hey. So this is me at a party. Oh, I'm talking to you all of a sudden. Oh, hey, my ADHD. Okay, all right. Rocket Girl is saying, what do you want with jewelry? You don't want anymore? Mine aren't all that valuable, but spill. If they are not valuable, if you don't think you can sell them for any money, donate them somewhere. Donate them to some place where somebody might go buy costume jewelry, and maybe you can find a place to donate it that you feel good about what the money goes to. That's why I feel good about charging money for these decluttering parties, because I feel good about helping women who don't even have anything. With my abundance, I want to share my abundance with them. I also want to share with you the feeling of it's okay to invest money on something to help you get something done. You don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to do it for free. Spending money on something can make it easier for you to get the result you want. I know this myself because when I pay for strength training classes, I show up and I strength train. When I don't pay for them, I also do not show up in the living room on YouTube as much as I would. Okay? Now, I am backing up. Idaho Princess, nice to see you. I'm like, Idaho. It's so funny. I am in the habit of looking up here to my map of the United States, but I changed it to a giant calendar this year. You know? Yeah. I love it. Sunflowers redoing their living room and feeling great. Yes, stop, collaborate, and listen. Exactly. Stop. Collaborate with yourself by listening. Okay? All right. Yep. Boop-a-doo. Yeah, and sometimes this is going to happen. is people in California. Again, my heart goes out to you. We've reached out to our friends there, and it's totally devastating. Shit may happen that we don't expect. Being prepared for that. But also, sometimes shit's gonna happen like, Danielle is saying the kitchen sink backing up is forcing me to declutter what is under there. Yeah, sometimes you are unceremoniously forced to declutter. I say that because we used to have water going through our basement all the time. So be prepared. Be prepared so you don't have so much crap to go through, that you have just the right amount of stuff to you. Okay? Now Sarah is saying, I'm struggling to get started today with work. Okay. Notice why you're struggling. Is it physical? Is it mental? Are you hungry? Do you know where you're going? Does it make sense to you where you're going? Are you engaged? Do you want to do it? Find out where you're stopped. Find out what is not working in the engine of your car or in the giant car. You may have a flat tire. You may have no gas in your tank. You may not have a map. You may not know where you're going. When you get curious, you don't get judgy. You get curious about why am I struggling to get started here? When you get curious, you ask yourself some questions. Get curious and polite. Then quiet the F down and listen to your answers to yourself. And then whatever yourself offers, you now have some information to work with. Okay? So notice that. Let's all congratulate Kat Roby. Kat Roby's mail is down to 2 inches high. I love it. You know the great thing is, Kat, you and I are going to be here for another 18 minutes, and then I hop on to do some coaching and consultations today. And in 2 minutes, those 2 inches are going to be done. And here's what I want to offer to you. And Kat Roby is also, Kat, you're probably learning this, is decluttering is a 2-step process. First, or at least the way I teach it, is I help you decrease the amount of items that has accumulated from the past, right? The piles of stuff, the piles of laundry, I was going to say, but mail, things like that. I help you with that. And I help you change your habits of being cluttered so you don't allow it to pile up again. So when you do that, when you don't allow it, I would like to think that Kat is knowing how good it feels to get this done. She doesn't ever want to go through these giant piles of mail again. And this is where, again, that not that all or nothing, that nothing, and then I'll do it all. No. Here we chunk it down. So today when the mail comes in, Kat, practice living a decluttered life. Practice decluttering your mail every day. Practice noticing when your nervous system is like, oh my God, that's a plain white envelope. Could be something from the IRS. And then you open it and you're like, oh, it's that credit card I applied for, and look at my credit card limit. Notice feeling the fear. I don't want to say feel the fear, but do it anyway. But notice I can be afraid of the most random things. But then I say, wait a minute. I'm really just afraid of a plain white envelope. It's not a boa constrictor. So then I open it up. I practice, doing the thing that I'm scared of. And then I realize I didn't even be scared of it at all. Okay? Yeah. And here's the thing. Okay, Erin is offering this. Saw someone in California at Good Morning America this AM. Family lost everything, including all photos on film only. Digitize. Yes. I am doing that while I am going through my albums myself. These pictures that I definitely want to keep, I will snap. And digitize does not need to mean anything very overwhelming. Taking a digital picture with your phone of a photo is perfect. Robin is chiming in, saying paperwork is all processed and sorted. Just a couple of phone calls and done. There you go. It's a high five, high 10 right back at you. Okay. Amber gives everything to her local family shelter. Yep. Give your stuff away to places that make you feel good. Sunflower's offering download Spotify and find a really good podcast. That helps me. Yes. Now, Kat was trying out Weekly with the thing, avoid squirrel daily, but the junk shouldn't go in the pile, so I'll try that. Yes. Notice categorizing, sorting into categories. You gotta sort it before you store it. Okay? Categorizing. Do this, everybody, today. Do this with your junk mail that's coming in that mailbox. Do it with the mail that comes in your digital mailbox. What is what I want to keep? What is something I can delete? And I will offer this to you because I've been actively working on it, and boy, is it making such a positive difference. Today, when you get a catalog or a commercial mailer in the mail because you're on somebody's mailing list, take the 2 minutes to unsubscribe. Now, it's easier with your digital stuff because there should be an unsubscribe button, but take the 2 minutes today to unsubscribe from whatever junk mail comes in your mailbox today. I have done that for my mother. I am telling you, she gets 95% fewer pieces of mail in the mailbox. And this helps us identify the important papers because they don't get lost in the shuffle. So do that. It's as easy as finding the 800 number for the place. If it's not on what you got in the mail, you can Google it. And you call up and you say this. You say, I'd like to be removed from your postal mailing lists. Is that something you can help me with? They will either say, yes, I can, or I can't, but I'm going to transfer you. It's happened to me this week. Get it done. Investing a small amount of time now is a true investment. It will reap a benefit in your future. If you avoid that today, you're going to still be dealing with the piles. Okay? Say this. Okay. So Danielle says, sometimes if I have multiples of something, I can't decide which to keep. Keep the best one. Keep your favorite. Keep the one you like the best. Keep the one that is in the best condition. Okay? You know there's a hierarchy. If you have all multiples of something, are they really all the same? Or is there something that makes one better to you than others? Okay? I'm doing this with photographs. I have multiples of some certain things. I'm keeping the ones that I look the best in. I am throwing away photos that I don't like how I look. Now, not all of them, because I have a great aunt who did that, and we had very few photos left of her, and the one that was left from her was like from a bus pass. But I'm thinking of this, and this may sound morbid, but I get morbid. Would I want this photo in the slideshow or poster board at my funeral? Right? Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes I save photos because of the stuff in the background. So one of the things I'm going to do, and again, it's going to sound morbid, but I am going to actively start to create not just a pile of pictures of me, but a pile of pictures of me in an envelope of use these for my funeral. You know? Use these for my funeral. All right, what do we have here? Couple of things while I take a break here. It is 9:48 in the morning Eastern Time. Beth, Destination Decluttering Life Coach. I'm going to take a quick, oh yeah, and if you were curious, this is the last thing I Googled when I was trying to timestamp some of these photos. The U2's album War came out on February 28th of 1983. Just so you know. But I'm going to look at my Gmail, and I am going to just double check. Yep, okay, so the form to sign up for my mailing list is working. So if you want to know when I'm doing a TikTok live, sign up for the mailing list. If you want to have first dibs on a coaching consultation, sign up for my mailing list. If you want to be invited to these decluttering parties we're having this weekend and having some more in February and March, sign up for the mailing list. Destination Decluttered, all one word, .com. Scroll down to the bottom of the top of the page. Scroll down to the bottom of the top of the page, of the home page. Put your email address in. Boom, you're done. That's also where's mine? Where's mine? It's around here. It's around here somewhere. Oops. That's where you can get your habit tracker. You guys, Look, I have some potholes because I'm human. But man, do I have more pavers than potholes. And this right here, just so you know, this is where I'm not going to expect myself to do any of these because I'm going to be out of my house. But this is increasing me. This is encouraging me. Seeing what I've done in the past, good, encourages me to show up today and do it. You can download that free PDF, a blank one, by getting on the mailing list. destinationdecluttered.com, stuff like that there. Okay? Okay, I love this. Yeah. Hey, good stuff, good stuff. Good stuff is happening here. Good stuff happens when we show up for decluttering. Can you imagine? I would haunt people. Yes. Erin says, I think the exact same way. I want to make my own funeral boards. So seriously, you guys, think of how much that would help somebody else. Help your daughters when they're in the midst of grief. If they came across and you shared with them before you died, here is the envelope of photos for my funeral. Why don't we scan them in now and have them on a digital thing? So if you go to one of those funeral homes that has like the screens up versus just like the poster board, that you're covered. Start talking about that stuff with people now. Now, here's a really good thing. Laura is saying, and this is so good, working on a bin that has been tough. You're going to find a bin that's tough. I have had to remind myself, say it to yourself again in your head, remind yourself, deal with one item at a time. Yes, chunk it down. One item at a time. That's how I'm dealing with these photos in this album. One at a time. There are categories of these photos. Oh, look, that's when I went to Spain in either 82 or 83. I have to figure out what year that was. Oh, those are the photos that I took when I was on the Cape in 1977. Oh, there's a category, but then within each one of those, I will say, do I want to keep this photo? Or, and this is what I was doing, so maybe this will help you. Right here, I started writing down the stories that the photos were telling me. July of 1978, when I was 11, do the math, I spent a week in Dennisport, Mass. On the Cape with my friend and her family. 1981, I went to the White Mountains with that same friend and some other friends. So I don't need to keep those photos because a lot of them are crappy. They're like, me in the distance and it's fuzzy. But if I want to keep the story, there it is. Yes, I'll haunt anyone who keeps who displays a lousy picture of me. Don't give them the opportunity. Throw away the shitty pictures of yourself, okay? Keep the good ones. Yeah. Hey, this is really cool. You guys. Kat Roby, let's give her a round of applause. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Weekly inbox for mail, notes, tasks, etc. review. Haven't seen the bottom of that weekly inbox since the summer. And she says, I have reached the awesome rock bottom. Yes. And Kat Roby, I love it because Erin is saying, hey, yo. Yeah. Way beyond process mail task that I started with. Yes. Because when you do that, you realize this isn't so bad. I can go a layer deeper. This isn't so bad. I can go a layer deeper. Look what you did, my dear. High five. So good. So good. So good. Now I love it. Abbott Elementary is going on vacation. And she says, while pulling suitcases out of the closet, I found IKEA bags full to declutter. Yes. Do that after you've traveled. Here's the deal with clutter. Clutter waits for every man. Clutter will wait for you until you get back. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there until you deal with it. So don't worry about getting it done before you leave. You'll deal with it. But IKEA bags full of clutter, ADHD people, you know this acronym, DOOM bag, didn't organize, only moved. Yeah, so didn't organize it. So what you do is you start by organizing. And how I like to say that is sorting into categories. You got to sort it before you store it. Okay? I love it. Kat Roby has goosebumps. Kat, notice how your body is celebrating. It's like every little like goosebump, what do you call those? Like the pores and they're all giving your body a little high five. All your little hairs are going zing. Like notice how your body responds to you doing something and you being decluttered. How awesome is that? Your body is celebrating, you know? So it's not just your head. It's not just looking good and getting the stuff done. No, this is a visceral experience. Visceral in your viscer, in your body. This is a mental experience. This is a nervous system experience. This feels so good to having done it. And look at when you do something good for yourself, you are sharing that good vibe, what I like to call the positive ripple effect. You are sharing that with other people because now Erin is psyched. Erin is feeling psyched for you. Because you know what this means, people? It means when we see somebody else doing something, that means we can do it ourselves. If Kat did it, I can certainly do it. I heard her struggles. She shared her struggles, but then she did it anyway. She didn't just give up and run away. She said, I'm afraid of this, but I'm going to try it. Oh, this wasn't that bad. You guys, I've been dragging my heels since September. I did it now. That wasn't that bad. I want you to remember, yes, we are inspired. So I want you to remember that feeling, everybody, that feeling of inspiration. As Bobby says, we are inspired. Damn it, Donna says, good vibes are contagious. Words of affirmation, yes. This is what we do here and here every single day. It's fun when it's with other people, but it's more powerful when you practice that yourself. You congratulate yourself on the stuff you did. You feel good. You write these things down. And then you remember that good feeling, and that good feeling will encourage you to show up again, to do the things. This is what we do. When we rely on other people to give us rewards and good, when we only rely on that and we don't know how to generate that ourselves, we are at the whim of that person. But when you know how to ignite that spark, turn the key and ignite the spark in your own engine, and then get going and get stuff done and then feel good about it, not only is that good for you, it's good for other people. Okay? All right. Erin's signing off. I'm going to sign off in like 3 minutes. So Erin, have a lovely day. I cannot wait to hear how it goes with the cleaners. I love it. Sarah, wicked easy. And I love it that Damn It Donna is saying the same thing. So Sarah is offering, for those of you watching the recording on YouTube, Sarah's saying, how can I declutter my mind? I have so many thoughts. Oh, honey, I have so many thoughts too. You know why? Because your brain is a thought-generating machine. It's all it does is generate thoughts. What I offer to you, though, is to slow it down, calm down, sit down, and most importantly, write down. Get the thoughts out of your head and down on paper. Okay. So get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. See this? These were my thoughts from yesterday of things I had scheduled to get done and wanted to get done. See how many things I have crossed off? I did a wicked lot of things. And then you know what I did? I reminded myself of the good things I did. My clients will know what I'm talking about. I wrote them down in my ta-da book. Okay? Now, I'm going to go in just a minute, but Danny is saying, Danny's mess says, I was going to let this pass, but to backtrack, please do the funeral stuff now. I lost my husband and my best friend and was so grief-stricken I couldn't make decisions. Okay? So let's do this. Let's send some love out to Danny's mess. And let's do something different so we don't put somebody else in that position. Okay? 80s Girl Forever says, I prepared for my funeral 5 years ago so my niece and nephew don't have to. I'm doing the same for my nieces and nephew. Okay? Yeah. Now I love it. I'm going to sign off. Danielle, everybody, so good to see everybody. I do have a TikTok live scheduled for tomorrow. Funny, I'm already changing my pages. If you want to know when that's going to be, get on my mailing list, sillies. Okay? And I will see you then. In the meantime, have fun. Get it done. Enjoy the journey. I don't know. I'm having wicked fun doing this stuff. And I would not be doing this without you guys, okay? So good vibes to you, Danny's Mess. My heart goes out to you. Kat Roby, congratulations, and I'll see you guys the next time on The Muppet Show, okay? Boop. Boop.